Welcome to the Not PC podcast. We have a fantastic episode coming up for you. First, we went to the Central Florida Zoo and Botanical Gardens. We roasted their beautiful animals. Then we sat down with Jess Torres, one of my closest friends, one of my funniest friends. We interviewed her about her growth in comedy. Then we did a quick jam with Almost Nowhere, great lo-fi artist Sean Sinz, a hip-hop artist, and I was filling in on bass, and that was pretty fun. You're going to want to stick around for that. I'm going to plug Jess's dates now. Jess is at State of the Milk on July 31st, and she is at Pink Piano in Lakeland on August 10th. I am also on Pink Piano with her. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm at Bubble Pops in St. Cloud on August 9th. I'm doing Don't Tell August 24th at the Space Coast. I'm in a Gainesville competition August 27th in Iverness, Florida. I will be there 8:30 August 30th. I will be in Iverness, Florida, performing with CP Post. Very funny. I will be in Gainesville again September 10th. I will be at Double Tap Brewery September 20th. I will be in Gainesville again September 24th. Feel free to come out and see us. We got a great episode for you guys. Stay tuned. We're at the Central Florida Zoo and Botanical Gardens today. We're really excited to be out here. They got mad animals. A lot of people don't know this about me. I have the animal autism. I know everything about them. Everyone else in my generation grew up on fucking SpongeBob. They don't know shit. I grew up on Animal Planet. I am versed in marsupials. I am versed. We're going to look at them. We're going to judge their living conditions. We're going to judge the quality of their lifestyles. I'm going to do a psych eval on all of these animals, especially the intelligent ones. This is a fossa. If you remember Madagascar 1, these are the bad guys. So I have no love in my heart for fossas, because if you step to Mort, you step to me. King Julian! Side quest at the zoo today. I'm looking for a red-headed zookeeper who I can share my rattlesnake with if we happen across one. Best day of my life. If we don't, I've been manifesting one. I'll go to the zoo another day. Looking into this snake's cloudy eye, do you think it has cataracts, or do you think it's just high at work? Due to financial cuts, this poor rhinoceros has been pushed to the brink. Here we see a suicidal white rhino attempting to drown itself. Unfortunately, they have massive lungs. It's going to take weeks. Thanks, Biden. Here we are at the North American Otter exhibit. The only otter in sight is me. Gang, gang. Just leveled up from Twink. Can you hear me? Honestly, it's this smug attitude for me. If my eye looked like a butthole, I would be so confident. Do you guys see my shoulders right now? I did delts yesterday and they're popping so hard. Black-breasted leaf turtle. Don't want to be weird or anything, but these look like the titties of a white man. People think alligators are dangerous. They're right. Here we are at the American Crocodile exhibit. People ask me what the most frustrating part of the zoo is. It's all these hot young moms who have children who don't want to fuck me. I'm irritated. If you have a family, leave me alone. It's wild at the zoo, bro. Here we have a crunchy boy. There's a sloth. And apparently these guys are so slow that algae grows on them. Can you imagine? That's how slowly I clean my Brita filter. There's algae in there. I call it nutrition. If anyone has seen a redheaded zookeeper at your local zoos or at other at any zoo, honestly, I will travel. Dude, I'll tell you what, that grip he's got on the chain link fence, I could do some damage. But I'm talking forehand gawk. You hear me? Forehand and a tail. Undomesticatable. The clouded leopards will claw your neck open without remorse, despite the fact that they look like the softest body pillow I've ever. Stop it. I bet it's purring right now. Oh, you fucking baby. Here's some helpful tips to attract birds if you're looking to attract a bird or two. But I've got some tips myself. If you're looking to attract a bird, well, something that they find irresistible is a little dance that I like to call the chicken. A little bit this. They like when you make it your own. Monkey love is one of those things that you just can't find on the internet. Here we see two cotton top tamarinds getting it on. Having a little cotton top. Oh, they've dismounted. There was a lovely intimate scene between the two of them. Right now they're sharing some lice together. They're having a lovely meal. They're Lady and the Tramping some parasites from each other's hair. So that's lovely. We love to see it. These look like the guys who show you where your table is when you get to hell. Here we are with two gorgeous giraffes. Not a lot of people know this. Giraffes have some of the best blowjob skills in the animal kingdom on account of their deep throat, but also their long tongue. The sexual prowess of a giraffe is something that cannot be discredited in this day and age, and it's something that a lot of people are, taking for granted. Giraffes are gorgeous, and they're very similar to dogs in temperament and flavor, I've heard. I've never eaten a dog, never eaten a giraffe, but people who have eaten both say you'd be shocked. And this brings us to the most dangerous animal of all. Your disgusting children. Thank you so much for coming out to the Central Florida Zoo and Botanical Gardens with us. Unfortunately, I did not find my redheaded zookeeper. I did not find a single mom. I found a bunch of happy, hot fucking moms who don't want me rooting around in their family. I'm excited to be leaving the zoo. The tickets were $50. The sunburn was free.
All right, everybody. Yeah. Welcome to Not PC with President Cameraman. With me is my very funny friend, Jess Torres. Jess is one of Florida's top comedians. She's the best. She's been going around featuring with Mike Hurley lately, killing the game. How are you enjoying featuring for Mike?
Oh, I love featuring for Mike. I think it's a very cool experience. He just got Florida's Funniest for 2023. Mm-hmm. So kind of pretty soon after he got that award, I started featuring for him. But Mike's been in the game for a while, so it's just cool to have like a mentor. I think that's an interesting thing to have, like in this space, just because it's a little bit difficult.
Absolutely.
And he, he's been in the game, but he's also like a more mature comedian. And I am a more mature comedian in age, but not in time of being a comedian. So it's interesting to like be with someone who's like similar in age, but like far more advanced, like in the career, and just learn certain things. I mean, it'd be different if he was a woman, of course, but, I'm learning different things.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Yeah. Have you been doing like a bunch of venues, bigger venues? How's the...
I have done a lot of bigger venues this year. So I do you do like vision boards or anything like that? Like manifestations? Okay, so I'm all about that. I've been like a really big manifestation girly for quite some time. And then I think around like 2020 COVID times, my thoughts or my manifestations weren't strong enough. And I think it's because we lacked like energy from being exposed to other people. And sometimes positive and negative energies like you need in order for things to come through. And that just wasn't happening because we were so isolated and everybody was in their phones and all that sort of thing. So I thought, I've never done a vision board. Let's do it. I know this is going to sound hokey. So I did my first vision board, and I've done one ever since because I do the vision board. I don't look at it every day. I just kind of like set the intentions first day of the year. And I go to like Barnes & Noble. I buy a bunch of magazines, and I just like cut out my feelings of like picturesque stream of consciousness, what I want to see this year. And it's been effective for me. So we'll say that. And so I never post it. I post my board from the year before, right before I make the new one. So people can see like, oh, look, I did this on, January 1st. And these are all the things that happened. I'll say this one because it's already happened. But this year on my vision board, I just told myself like, I want to feature. And basically I made these promises to myself. I wanted to feature, and I wanted to do no shows for free. Mm. And there's caveats to that. And I wanted to do a show on the main stage at the Improv.
Oh, fantastic. Now the Funny Bone.
Which is now the Funny Bone. Yeah, right. R.I.P. Yeah. So now Improv is called Funny Bone. But anyway, that stage, I was like, I really want to be on that stage this year. I think this is my year.
You already did that.
And I already did that.
Yeah.
So you asked me if I had big venues. So that was a pretty big one. I did a theater.
You did theater? Where at? Did that Sanford one?
No.
I've been hearing about the Sanford theater that people are doing.
I've been asked to do that. I'm just waiting to match up my schedule.
Gotcha.
But yeah, there is a theater in Sanford. This theater, I'm pulling it up for you right now. It was like southern Florida. Not even southern, like, I mean, just more south than where we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm deviating. I'm sorry, but I don't know it off the top of my head. I kind of know it, so I don't want to botch it. It was called, yeah, I thought the flyer would say, oh yeah, Sunrise Theater in Fort Pierce.
Okay. Oh, Fort Pierce.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So I've done that theater. And this weekend, our alma mater, so we did take some stand-up comedy writing classes at SAC, which is like a local improv and comedy space in town. And they are opening a new location. And this weekend, I will be headlining that stage for the first time.
Shut the fuck up. Is this for the class graduation?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, it's like a big deal, I think, to headline. Well, headlining for that show is essentially a feature set, so it's 20 minutes. But
still, you're
but I'm
closing
kind of
out.
gagged because it's the first show in that new space.
That's
it's like
right.
I'm the me. I'm like I'm the first headliner of the new space, so that's pretty awesome. So when I said no free shows this year, there are caveats. The caveats to doing free shows are when they're big opportunities like the one I just mentioned.
Absolutely,
so that's not a paid gig, but it's get some clout for that.
Mad clout. Yeah. We met
So.
for one of those. You were hosting my SAC graduation.
I hosted both of your SAT
Both
graduations.
that's right.
And that's how we met and became BFF.
March 2023.
March 2023.
Forever.
And then came back in May.
gang.
And then we were like, oh my God, did we just become best friends? And then you were like, no.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm your mommy.
Yeah,
and then there we
I
go.
don't remember exactly saying, no, you're not my best friend.
You were like, probably not. But we can be related.
That's about how my boundaries are sometimes. Yeah. But we can be related.
We can be related. We can't be best friends, but we can be family.
Yeah. Yeah, you can raise me now, I think.
You're like, my parents will live here. And I was like, come to me.
Yeah. No, my mom really dropped the ball. Even if she was here, she wouldn't be here. But another day, another dollar. You're a mom. You're raising the fuck out of a child.
I am. I mean, not the fuck out of him, but just, raising him.
Keeping the fuck in him. And you're
Keeping the
raising
fuck in him.
Yeah.
Like, well, he's keeping the fuck out of himself. I mean, he's a preteen. He's a preteen, so he's figuring that out he's on his own journey.
Oh my gosh, what does that entail for a mom?
So this is difficult for me, not in general because I'm pretty open and I'm a safe space.
Yeah.
I am divorced though. So where the discomfort lies is, he has two homes. So it's like a roll of the dice of who's going to get what conversation and when. Like,
That's
you don't
fascinating.
know.
Yeah.
You don't know what day, what hormone is going to be peaking. And so recently I'm kind of bummed because I've been getting like the sass that comes with being a preteen.
Mm-hmm.
And then my ex-husband is getting like the emotions and I'm the empath. So I'm like, no, we got to reset him. Is there like a hard reset on this kid? Like, do I push his belly button and squeeze his eyes at the same time? Like, just so that I can get the emotional side and his dad can get the sass. The most difficult part about that is when he does give me sass, the intonation and the way he speaks to me is just like his father, and I can't divorce him.
You can.
My child?
It's not good.
I cannot divorce my child, but it's
Take
like,
him to family court.
I'm like, every time he does it, I'm like, And they say, like, don't disparage your ex. And I don't. I've never been like, your dad is X, Y, and Z, whatever. I'm just kind of like, dad. And, we just still talk about each other normal. And we all get along fine. Goddamn. Every time. Can we curse on this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Every time. Probably should have asked that first. Every time he does it, I'm like, I need a minute. Like, I'm like, mommy is going to step outside. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm like, I need to go for a walk. Like, so.
Do you ever hear your parents in your voice? Like you
No, I am trying to break generational trauma.
Oh,
so
they're very good.
the second I'm like, nope, and nope. Like, I go through a lot of different mixtapes in my brain of, like, what can be happening. And I'm like, okay.
That's really all you can do. You notice it and then you correct.
Yeah.
Ugh. So he's being vulnerable with his dad and not with you?
Yes.
It's fascinating.
Rough for me.
What kind of sass is he throwing your way? He's such a nice guy.
He's such a nice guy, right? My son's the best. Like, we have a vibe. We're very close. We're very tight. It's just like the way he communicates. So if it's like, Um, it's just like the snappiness. It's the how do you guys like? What do you men have? Entitlement? It's that. It's
Is he curt and shit? Like just a little.
yeah. So I'll give you an example. So we went to breakfast a couple weeks ago for my sister's birthday. We show up, and I know for certain, like he's very particular, like with his food. He's the menu is limited. So we go to a restaurant. I'm not going to give him any sort of credit on this pod, but we go to a restaurant, and I just know they don't have just like an egg sandwich, like and they don't have like a bacon, egg, and cheese. It's like it's a fancy situation. So I said to him, I'm like, what do you want for breakfast? He's like, oh, I want an egg sandwich. And it's like, oh, I'm like, well, do you want something specific on it? He's like, just the one they have here. And I was like, well, the one they have here has a whole bunch of stuff you don't like. So are you sure you want that? And he was like, I want the egg sandwich. And I was like, I understand, but you're not. He was like, and I was like, but there is no other egg sandwich on this. And he goes, well, there must be. So you need to look again because that's what I always order here. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I need to look again. Yeah. You need to reevaluate who you just said that to, sir. And I was like at the table with like my sister and my mom, and my they both were like, they didn't even look at him like with correction eyes. Yeah. They looked at me like, oh shit. Yeah. And I was like, maybe you need to read. And he was like, and then again, it just had no bearings on it, just like his dad. And he was like, it was the equivalent of I said what I said. And I was like, so you need to what? And he was like, I said I want the egg sandwich. And I was like, if someone will get this kid on my face, I'm going to go to jail.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Do you ever hit him? You ever beat the fuck out of him?
Never once. That's part of the...
Well, he's like the same size as you.
Yes, we're the same size. But that is part of like breaking the generational trauma. You know, I'm a Latina woman, so I grew up in a certain time in a certain household. And so I've always been really cognizant of that. Like, oh, I'm not going to strike my kid. Doesn't mean I've never wanted to. Yeah. It just means like, it's kind of like... Yeah, it just means like I Thanos my race. Yeah. And I'm like, let me just find these infinity stones before I like hit my kid. But yeah, nope, I've never struck him. But I have told him like, there's certain rules, no matter your age, like, like don't lie to me. Like even if you think it'll hurt me, like don't lie to me because lying to me will make it worse. And I've told him straight up. I was like, if you lie to me and I find out, I will guarantee you that'll be the darkest day of your life. Mm. Don't let it be. Like, just letting you know. I would rather you be like, I broke this, I did this, I didn't turn on, I got an F on a test. But the second lying comes into play, I feel like that's where it gets like slippery slope because then you start, white lying, then you lie about everything. And then he started to like, he goes, well, what if I lie about it? I was like, I don't care. Yeah. They're just not lying. They're just not lying.
Yeah. Honestly, it's huge.
Yeah. Big deal for me.
Yeah.
So.
I get real blurty with honesty. Like I can't sit on a lie very well.
Yeah, I'm not a liar. So people are like, are you lying? And I'm like, no, if I was, you would totally be able to know. If I put myself in a situation where I have to lie, I'm in the wrong situation.
Yeah, exactly right.
Basically. I'm kind of like, yeah, I always like one of like my Jessisms is like, I'll ask you many times, but never let me get to a point where I have to tell you anything. Don't let me get to a telling you space because then it's not going to be good. It's going to be kind of ugly.
Yeah. I think that's...
I'm going to ask you a couple of times.
That's like, interesting, yeah.
Can you not do that? Can you not? But don't let me get to like a telling you space where I'm kind of like, I told you. Like, I told you not to do this. So now here we go. Like, let's go.
My parents are really big on delegating, so like any sort of like thing that they didn't want to do, it's like
for the
very
children.
Much so give it to the children. Yeah, there was talk of like, what did we have you for if not our chores? like
what
there was like
did we make children for? Go get the mail.
You're an indentured servant and my spunk. So
I gave you life.
Yeah, exactly. I gave you, and I can make another one that looks just like you. I could kill you and make another one. That's what they would say.
They could never make another you.
They couldn't make it. She's in her 60s,
but they could never. Like even if they tried, they could never.
You'd be surprised how cool my sister is. She's pretty much nailing it. But
I'm sure she's cool. I'm sure you guys are both cool. But
oh my God, stop it! I'm gonna cry. Oh
Please
my
don't.
God.
Wait, I'll find tissue.
Oh my God. How's your work-life comedy balance?
That is such a great question. Because I've been going through it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've been going through it these last couple. Let's be real. I've been going through it for some time, and then I have pockets of like sunshine where I'm kind of like everything seems to be going into place. But I recently just purchased a house.
Woo!
Thank you. Not my first house. My first house as a single lady. With that comes a lot of. Do you suffer from like imposter syndrome?
Constantly.
Okay. So with the purchase of this house, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, what a great accomplishment! You should be so proud of yourself." With all that also comes like, "Oh, I could also lose this house." So I haven't had a moment in the house where I'm kind of like, "Let me get cozy and enjoy my house." I'm kind of like, "Fuck," like you know what I mean? I hope I can keep it. I hope I can do whatever. So with that, my job, I've had essentially. The same title or the same job for 3 years. However, the work and the responsibility has changed a myriad of times to
Promotion
different things.
time.
Right, but the work it can't all be for this role. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like this is my title still, but I'm pretty sure I'm not doing that work any longer, and I liked the work I was doing. What I'm being asked to do now with the same title, I'm not passionate about. We'll say this much. I do love the company I work for, so I do want to stay with the company. But it is getting exhausting because then that imposter syndrome like creeps up again because I'm kind of like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do this job, but my title is still X. Like, so it's like, it's too much. I'm having a hard time. I'm trying to figure this out and like balance it, but I'm not doing well. Like I'm just kind of like, I don't know. It's funny. Earlier today, I did have therapy and we talked about this, and you're honestly our vibe. We're like, I don't know. We're vibing because you're picking up on a lot of things.
Oh, just checking. I wrote these earlier.
That's what I'm saying. This is so wild because in therapy earlier today we talked about my son, we talked about work, and we talked about like dating as, you know, a single mom. And in all three of those spaces, and comedy as well, which we've also talked on, I'm in like new transition spaces in every single one.
Yeah,
so
that's
I
right.
currently don't have like a safe space.
Yeah, you're not grounded.
Not even my home. Like
Right.
I just feel like this feels unfamiliar. Like, you know what I mean? I don't have any reprieve. It's just kind of like, well, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah,
that's basically what it's been like. I just don't have I don't have comfort. I really don't have like community, if you will. Like, I mean, we have a community in comedy, but that gets kind of dicey.
It gets dicey quick.
But I mean, I would say I'm confident with the people I have community with. I just don't think I get to be around my community enough.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of also difficult. And work-life balance is also difficult because we both work remote. So that's also like, oh yeah, I mean, I engage with people, but it's not like tactile.
Yeah,
it's just kind of like virtual.
There's no pressure when you're working remotely.
Pressure.
Yeah,
There's
and I thrive under pressure.
Same.
You need it.
Same. I'm like, oh my gosh, I appreciate the autonomy, but I'm like, is there such a thing as too much autonomy? Because I think there is.
Yeah,
you know, I need someone to be like, I'm gonna shoot you this. I was talking to a leader the other day, and they made me feel as though I said something so wrong, but I was just trying to articulate, like, I'm not super happy about where things are. I'm a little confused. I was basically like throwing like a Hail Mary. Like, hey, this don't love, but I'm willing to work through it as long as we get to the other side. So essentially, I'm a very black and white person, Preston. Like, I don't like to work in the gray. But I understand currently we're in a gray space. So the statement I said was, I understand we're in the gray and I'm happy to work in it as long as the end result is that it's back to black and white.
Yeah.
And this leader told me, well, then you're not working in the gray. Well, bitch, what am I supposed to make purple?
What's the work?
Like, I mean,
sure.
I mean,
I hear you.
what? So if you're working through the, you're just supposed to be like complacent, just like we're just jovial and gray, like you know what I mean? And is it like GREY or GRAY? We can't even decipher
don't
that.
even- yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The fuck, I like them both. That's the thing.
That's the thing.
I'm torn.
Did you grow up in a Christian home?
Christian Grey. Porn.
Not
I,
porn. Not a 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
Like these
Yeah.
are all good callbacks. That was a good sequence.
I grew up semi-Christian until I was like 6. My sister bought into it right away. She's 5 years older than me. My dad really likes Catholicism. My mom made us be Episcopal, and when I was 6, I was like, I don't like this. We should stop doing this, and then we all stopped.
You know, why I say that is because there's like a phrase in like children's ministry, like when there's co-ed things,
Yeah.
they say don't make purple.
Don't make purple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah,
don't make purple.
yeah. I'm just out here making more blue.
Blue ball.
Gay, never, please.
so gay.
No, that is pretty gay. That's very gay.
The gayest thing I've ever said.
All right, so is your job like 9 to 5? Like, what's your schedule like?
Yes, I have a Monday through Friday 9 to 5.
And then when do you have your son?
So I have my son always Mondays and Tuesdays. So every week I have my son Mondays and Tuesdays, and then his dad and I alternate weekends. So I have him every other weekend. So like I don't have him this weekend.
Very cool. Okay, so this weekend you have shows?
I do.
Nice.
So that's yeah. So I kind of book my comedy based around that. And then like Mondays and Tuesdays are really more mics, not shows. So that's why Wednesdays and Thursdays are better for that. And then
You still hitting a lot of mics?
I mean, I try when I can. I feel like right now, like I was maybe gonna go to Bull and Bush later, but now it's like a bucket thing, and
The bucket thing.
there's no guarantee I'm gonna go up,
Right.
and so I don't really want to go for the hang. Maybe sometimes I'm not in the mood for that.
Yeah. I'll go do
Sometimes
drugs
I am.
with the boys. Yeah.
Sometimes I am.
Sometimes that's
Is
the fun.
today one of those nights? Probably not.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I'm I feel like at a level with my showcases that if I want to work out new bits on a showcase, I can do that instead of like
Can we just also we give you some flowers? This is
I
your podcast,
guess.
but I want to give them to you.
well, not too many.
I want to
one
give you
nice
bouquets
flower.
like you're dead. No, but I think you are a savant. Like you're like a comedic genius.
Way too far. Way too big of a flower.
Shut the fuck up. It's really not. Like you're a comedic genius. So like you have the ability and you could try things because it doesn't even matter. It's going to be good and it's going to hit no matter what. And so people just like to have you on. You're in a space where it's kind of like you don't need to do mics because you're so pro. And then yes, to your point, if you want to try something on a showcase, but the other comedians, even comedians have been doing it longer than you. Preston, you're so much better than them that it's kind of like they don't even give a fuck if you're trying new shit because they're like, oh, Preston hits every time. You know what I mean? So
That's very nice. There's some of that going on. Yeah, there's definitely the.
Don't be humble. Sit down, like Kendrick Lamar says.
Yeah,
like,
that's
and
right.
he's trending right now.
Yeah. As always.
As always.
And I've been identifying with Kendrick because he just put Drake in his place, and that's the energy that I'm
Yeah, you
bringing
got
on
you
Saturday.
I hate the way that you walk, the way that you dress.
You lied about you.
You lied.
And what can you do?
I just want to come in like as Nicki Minaj on the track.
Oh, shit, I would love that. Yeah. Featuring Jess. Oh, shit.
Like, they
that'd be
call me Jessie. Like,
Oh, my God. Rip her apart. Are you working on any new bits right now?
so that's another thing. Like I have so many premise, and I feel like I'm a premi, if you will. I want to be proper. I'm having a hard time. Right, I'm having a hard time finding my funny because of all the other things going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, like that's funny, or like there's several like girly comedy group chats, and I'll be like, oh, is this funny? People are like, oh, that's a funny premise, and I'll think it was a whole joke, and I'm like, oh, or someone will be like, that's a story, and I'm like, but my comedy is story. I'm like the Latina Kevin Hart, like of Orlando. It's like we're the same size. All a man does is tell stories, animated. I'm like, I can't do blackface. Like, I mean, I feel like I'd be fine. Like if I was just a small black man doing the same thing.
Yeah,
but
you
it's
kill
like,
it. You Sean
what
Philippe.
else, Jess? Like, what else do you got? So I have like set like some goals for myself in comedy besides like the funny bone stage, I'm just having a hard time attaining them or like really like sitting and locking in. I have been doing recently though, like just to brush up on that, if I'm doing sets, like changing up my tags or exploring different things and at a showcase or whatever and be like, oh, I was thinking about toying with this. Let me throw this in.
Yeah.
And if I get a laugh or like, I'm like, okay, I should probably write that out.
Yeah.
Like, you know, different things like that. I think I'm also we're 2 days away. It's like, is it 2 days away or maybe like a week away from my 2-year comedy anniversary?
Oh my God, Cody.
So
You've done so much in 2 years, dude. Oh my God.
I have.
Yeah, you've been getting booked up the whole time. It feels
I've
like.
had been booked up the whole time. And I get like really sweet comments. So I try not to like rely on my laurels. Like when we did a show together last week, and after the show, I got a DM from like one of the comics we were on the show with. It was so sweet, and he was just like, "Your stage presence always impresses me." So I feel like that's my sweet spot. I think my sweet spot is I'm comfortable on stage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm comfortable with myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm comfortable about my material and what I'm discussing. At this point, I don't really give a fuck if you like what I say or not.
Sure.
I'm the one with the microphone.
Yeah.
But with that being said as well, at this 2 like year mark, you also have to decipher who's your audience
Mm-hmm.
and who they aren't.
Mm-hmm.
And I just and you really have to figure that out. And once you do, you got to see if you're okay with it. Like,
That's right.
I'm not sure. I know right now for certain I'm not a comedian for everyone. Know that hands down. Do I know that my material leans like female friendly? Yes. I know if there's women in the crowd, I'm going to crush.
Sure.
I know it's going to like be fire. Do I know that, older, I don't know, people in the South don't like me? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's been established. So now I'm at a crossroads where like, do I care? Do I want to win everyone?
Right.
Or, let's use famous comedians. Like, a John Mulaney audience is not the same as a Burt Kreischer audience.
Oh,
The 2 different types of comedy.
big time. Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's maybe niche people who appreciate both, but those people who appreciate both are probably comedians
Sure.
who are like, not my style, but appreciate their execution or whatever that looks like. But then there's someone like a Nate Bargatze who's for everyone.
Yeah.
Because he's relatable.
And broad. Yeah. Relatable as hell. Broad to middle America, which is huge.
And I'm not middle America. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, that's kind of where I am, number one. Number 2, stand-up was always something I wanted to pursue like my whole life. And I really held back for so long because I put other people in front of myself, like my ex-husband, my child. I let everybody else thrive and I hung by the wayside. And then now that it's my opportunity, it's also my opportunity in a bunch of ways. Like, now I have a voice, I have the chance to say something. If I start editing myself and doing things, then that's just as bad as not doing it at all.
That's right. Yeah.
And so I wrestle with that as well. Like, I have a joke about Republicans, and sometimes people are like, "Oh, are you going to do that tonight?" And it's not even like a hard joke about Republicans. It's just like a line. And recently, someone we know from the Orlando comedy scene, Cam Patterson just told like Tucker Carlson that his
My
grandmother
grandma
hates
you.
him.
Yeah.
And called him the N-word.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so, and that man laughed and dapped him up.
Laughed really hard.
So I'm not cutting my stuff
No.
because I feel like when people say that to me, it's like, what's the difference?
Mm-hmm.
That Republican man knew where he was at.
That's right.
He knew he came to a comedy show. He knows, like, if someone's also going to do a roast, like a Tom Brady roast or whatever, like, you're putting yourself in the line of fire. So you have to be prepared for everything. You can't get in your feels. And so that man, he took it well, and it was a great experience. So that's my feeling when you come to a comedy show. When you
Yeah.
come to a comedy show, you can't assume all of this material is going to be my type of humor. All of these comedians wrote something for me. Like, you have to understand the world is divisive. So comedy is going to be divisive. And so sometimes you're going to laugh at things and sometimes you're not. It's not always going to be relatable comedy. And so I've just learned, like, you know, I can take people's opinions with a grain of salt and, like, thank you for sharing. Also, I just don't love getting opinions if I didn't ask for them. But
yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I think that's for me to decide, like, what I want to cut or what I don't. And I'm not going to cut a joke that hits in like 95% of places.
I know, right? That's always sad, is when a joke that works 19 out of 20 times doesn't work one time, and people tell you to take it out of your
They're like, oh, you
act.
should take it out. And I'm like,
And you don't even know. You don't even know how good this joke is.
you have no idea. Number one. Number two, if it's a fellow comedian, I'm always kind of like, thanks for the feedback. Do you have a replacement for me? Like, because like, if you're going to come at me, I also think that that's kind of like underhanded, because it's like, they know it hits. You know, they just saw it not hit that one time.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So
too,
I feel like it's like, let me humble you for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should take that out. And then, like, if you talk to the wrong person at the wrong time, that will fuck with you mentally.
Oh.
Like, oh, shit. Like, should I take it out? And then it's like, nah, you're good. Like, you know what I mean? That's like, I feel like that's part of the game is, you know, the manipulation of
That's huge. My parents were really bad about that with me. I haven't let my sister has seen, like, one stand-up show. My parents have seen the video of our showcase, the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing else. I don't let. My dad came out when my dad and I went to Austin. He came to like 2 performances, but never mind.
They haven't heard any of your music.
I think they might have heard the In the Shower song was originally a produced song that they heard and loved. They really like it. In the Shower is one of the only pieces of art that I've made that my parents were like, "Wow!"
They're
and I'm
like,
it's about
"Oh,
fucking
yeah."
in the shower.
They're like, we know about that.
Yeah. We bended that.
Yes,
Your
like-
father's taller than me.
Well,
It's
we
hard
lived
on
in
our
Florida.
knees.
We had hard water. Like,
We fucked in well water.
we got it.
You know,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
was
it's-
rubbery. Like,
We chafe. Your dad pissed on me. But yeah, I the further away that I keep them, the better for my mental health. They give me very critical advice about everything that I do, it feels like. But in comedy, getting advice like that is really impactful. It cuts deep. And they're not my demographic. They're never going to be.
right.
Why would I even?
yeah.
Their feedback literally means nothing. They're
Yeah.
aged out of what would be a person that I'm interested
I'll
in
do a stage
entertaining.
even if it's not my demographic, just so I can get the stage time
Oh, sure,
and
yeah.
or money. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I don't really care.
No bomb
Like,
in Melbourne.
I'm here.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh.
here we go.
I'll eat shit and cocoa for a bunch of 7-year-olds.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. $50?
I'm about to do it next week.
Oh
So
my God.
2 weeks. So yeah.
One of my worst bombs to date was Oceanside Tavern. Brian Milligan was doing the Space Coast Don't Tell. Oh my God. I did so bad. These 7-year-old people took one look at me and they were like, we don't get it. We hate it. They didn't laugh once. Matt Glidden murdered, bro. Matt Glidden and his Midwest fucking head cleaned up so hard right after me.
Yeah.
I was like, it's me.
Sounds about right.
It's me, dude. It's the
Well, he was
jokes.
just like, I got kids, and they were like, cool, good for him.
Yeah.
Us too.
I think that the relatability, like, so to touch on, like, whether or not you edit your personality in stand-up, this is so interesting. It's something I've been struggling with really hard because my act is also divisive as shit. And losing people is not something that I'm interested in. If there's people in the audience, I want them to laugh. So I am actively hacking divisive shit out of my act. And I don't know if it's getting better or not. I don't know if it's the
think you
right
should
choice. I don't think
I
I should do it either,
personally-
but I...
As a human, not even as a comedian. Oh, and I'm going to tell you, when I did open at Funny Bones, I opened for my first, like, famous comedian. So I hosted for my first famous comedian. So shout out to him. And his Guy Tori, and what he said, like, we hung out after the shows 2 nights, and this stuck out to me, so I'm going to tell it to you.
Yeah.
He said, somebody said comic, and he was like, don't call yourself a comic. A comic says funny things. A comedian makes things funny. And so I was like, oh, bars. I'm a freaking comedian,
Yeah.
bro. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not a water cooler talker. So I think I've said this to you before. I think you get too much in your head in the state of, like, Florida.
Yeah.
Because your act isn't divisive in major metropolitan cities.
Sure, I think that's fair.
Do you know what I mean?
Florida's divided itself.
Because you're a star. Like, you know what I mean?
Star.
You're a star. You're going to shine.
But I also feel like Florida is a great opportunity because of how divided it is, because we have so many different demographics, because so many snowbirds will come here and
I
stay
mean,
here.
I will say, get your licks
Yeah.
in Florida. You know, like, it's like, you know, you can get your lashings here. But I've said this to you many times when you've, like, explored other cities. Like, selfishly, I would love for you to stay here, but I just don't think this is your city. Like,
We have to go to New York.
I think you'd do phenomenal in New York. That's just a personal opinion, just because you just got that vibe, dude. You're
Okay.
just...
You used to live in New York. You did a lot of work in New York in show business. You were an actor.
Yeah, I was an actor, yeah. So I was born there originally. I'm New York City girly, like, in my heart.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, and it's a vibe, and I think you're just, like, prime for that sort of environment. Like, I don't know.
They do have this
But
new
I've never
stand-up
been.
jazz show.
I've never been to Chicago. Like, we have a friend who's from Chicago in comedy. I don't know what that scene is like. You might be good, something like that, like Groundlings or what. I don't know. But from what I know, I've worked in Los Angeles and I've worked in New York City. I've never been to Austin. So, comedy wise, what I see on the periphery of Austin, I think it's great, and, you know, people are doing their thing out there. I just, respectfully, I think the majority of comedians in Austin right now that aren't making it but want to are incels, and you're just not that.
Yeah, I'd be fucking. I'd
Yeah.
be fucking.
Yeah, you be fucking, but
I'd
it's
be-
like, but you're not like, duh, duh, like, you know, you're not like,
Yeah,
you're
sure.
not like Lenny from Of Mice of Men, and you're like, let me pet the dog,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
When I
Like,
do fuck her, she dies. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
and, like, pretty girl,
Pretty
like,
girl. Oh man, I smushed her. No.
like, you know, your
Yeah,
piss
no.
doesn't smell like creatine, and, like, you know, you don't live off.
You don't know
Never-
what my piss smells like.
I don't, but I like want to think it smells like Epsom salts or something.
That's really nice. That's really ambitious. It smells like trash.
wanna
It smells like
believe-
piss. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I want to believe that your piss smells like like a eucalyptus diffuser or something.
Yeah, that's
Like a spa day.
my koala pee.
No, that's chlamydia pee.
That's chlamydia pee. That's right. It does burn every time.
Yeah.
I should be concerned. But another day, another dollar. Thanks for the itchies, Meg. No.
No, those don't give you itchies. That gives you a whole nother vibe.
Oh shit! What did it give me?
We'll talk about it offline.
Oh no!
I'm not sponsoring chlamydia. On the
Not PC. Brought to you by
we'll be back
chlamydia.
after these messages. Have
Do
you
hate
have a
peeing
burden?
comfortably? Yeah. Oh my god.
We have problems.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, you can't spell chlamydia without mid, and that's. Do you read?
Yes.
I was gonna. Yeah, I was. This is something I've wondered about you for a while. I'm like, I bet just read.
Jess, are you literate?
I'm blown away by the actual illiteracy that exists in our comedy scene. Actual
Why?
illiteracy.
How?
How? Your job is writer.
But that's the point. A lot of them don't write; they
Yeah.
rant,
Yeah, that's a fantastic delineation.
and that's the difference. Like, you can't. There's something about, like, putting pen to paper,
Mhm.
or, you know, like, for me, my brain works too fast, so I can't do pen to paper.
Right.
I have to do, like, typing, just to, like, get it all out really fast. But there's something about writing that you only get and can do well if you read, because it's kind
Mhm.
of like, oh, what's a different adjective I could say? Or, you know, like, when we took, I know a lot of people shade the class we took, and you know, it is what it is. But I think one of the most valuable lessons I learned in that class was words are funny.
That Seinfeld clip.
Yeah.
Chimp.
Like,
Stick.
Yeah.
Dirt.
Yeah.
5
anything-
words in that sentence. 3
It's
more
like,
funny.
it's just like words are funny, especially sometimes if you articulate them.
Absolutely.
Or if they are, if someone knows a word really well and you mispronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the comedy teacher who teaches that class, he has a joke where he talks about
Law Fitness.
his peripheral vision.
I love Paraferal. Paraferal's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Peripheral. But like people, he gets a laugh because it's peripheral. But like he's like, I'm an idiot. Like peripheral. That's why I have a joke, and instead of saying Italian, I say Italian.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like it's not even like I'm like, oh, I went to this nice Italian restaurant, and everybody's like, ha ha ha. She said and it's like, low hanging fruit with that one.
There you go.
It's just kind of like certain things like I've noticed if I say, or even big words when people say big words. Now, some people in the comedy scene don't like that I use big words, but oh well.
That's.
But I think that changes because if like let's use an example. Like if we were talking about like going down on someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I said cunnilingus. That's such a funny word.
Oh,
and it's so much more fun. And there's so many different ways you can say it, and your facial expression, how you can move your mouth when you say it, as opposed to like head.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Or I don't know. The word clit's funny.
Clit is funny.
Clit is funny.
Clit
But
is
clitoris, so much more fun.
Clitoris.
Yeah. It sounds like my grandmother's best friend.
Yeah.
Like,
I was going out with clitoris.
clitoris. We went out to this nice Italian restaurant the other day.
I really upset clitoris. You know how
I
sensitive
messed
she
up
can
so
get.
bad. We couldn't see outside of our peripheral vision, but you know what I mean? It's
It was
like,
raining. Clitoris had her hood up.
yeah,
She looked like
I
shit.
guarantee you, part of the illiteracy, they also don't own dictionaries or thesaurus.
But they've made it through high school. Some of them have adult jobs.
Have you ever seen these diplomas?
That's. I'd have to see the Carfax.
I just want to say, yeah.
I'd like to check your transcript.
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard not to say names right now. Some motherfuckers don't know where to put a comma. All right.
I know. I'm like, wow, yeah. Ooh. I'm like, oh yeah, me and this one, and we're on the same plate. Like, I love when someone's like, oh, we've both been doing comedy for 2 years, and I'm like, I'm a grown adult. Like,
yeah.
I do see something like alluring about the comics that don't have a notebook. There's something about that I'm like, how did you even do that? But I don't know if I admire it. I don't know if it would work for me, at least workflow wise. Like, you know what I'm talking? Louis C.K. doesn't have a fucking notebook. What is it?
I have a note section on my phone,
Yeah.
and then I have my laptop.
Mhm.
And so at any given moment, I'm doing those things. I do have a comedy notebook, and sometimes I challenge myself, but I like to move fast. And so even if I write it, sometimes like I can't read my own handwriting, and I'm like, I don't love it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The speed is the biggest thing for notebooks. I fuck up I'll say it out loud and then try and write it, and it's already gone.
do you use voice memo? I love that too.
I go in and out of it. I can't listen to them. Just me alone walking around laughing out loud at my own jokes. I'm playing both
No,
audience
but
and
like
me.
sometimes I'll have a thought, and then I'll have to speak it out because especially if I have a thought and I'm like, but I want to say it like this, and then I'll expand on so I do like a notes section.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah. I just always feel like an idiot with the voice from it. I can't get comfortable with it. But the typing is good. I love the notes app. I copy paste around. That's
a game changer.
Huge advantage over
Yeah,
especially with structure. And I feel like structure is everything with jokes.
Yeah.
If you're not whatever. I'm just getting all jokey.
You're so jokey.
I'm so jokey.
Oh my god, why are you so silly?
Let's get technical.
Okay.
Let's dive into joke structure.
Yeah. I just said that because Ariana Grande saw on this.
I had looked over there. It's so long. Oh my god.
He said, let's get technical. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. I can hear her fucking voice right now. Oh my god. What do you read when you're reading?
When I do read, lately I've been into like memoirs.
Word.
Like celebrity memoirs.
Impressive people. Like what kind of?
Yeah, like impressive people or people I'm like, oh, I want to know more about their story. I have like a stack of self-help books I need to get into.
Oh god, I love self-help.
Obviously, I'm failing because I'm like I keep collecting them, but they're collecting dust. So I do love that, and I was in a book club for a short amount of time, and just like fun fiction, like something that's like not too serious. Just I like worlds. It's the same way I watch television. Like I like to be immersed in a world that's not my own. So anything that can like take me out and just let me be somewhere else for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Really love that.
Yeah.
Or and I like memoirs because they're the past.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of a similar thing, like nostalgia or like reminiscing. So I like anything like that.
Yeah. I love memoirs as well.
I love a good memoir.
There's nothing, and there's also just nothing like reading about someone impressive who you idolize. I
Yeah.
feel like it's like almost like a blueprint. Like I'm like how they did that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, let me see. But then I always get nervous, like, then after you read the memoir and you're like, I'd really love to meet that person. But then they say, like, don't meet your heroes. So it's kind of like, do you just leave it at that, like, that's it, I got the memoir?
I feel like to me they would be so separate.
Do you feel?
Like the achievements are one thing. I don't
Right.
care if you're completely mean to me.
Okay.
I get it.
Yeah.
I
I get it. Be a dick. Like,
I'm mean to me. You know.
yeah, but
Why
we
would I
shouldn't be.
expect
Oh my
David
gosh.
Letterman to be nice to me. Oh my god, that scared me so much. Isn't that
Me
the
too.
loudest thing
I
in the
was
world?
like, I was like, what's happening?
No, I do that all the time.
Speaking of like earlier about like therapy earlier, I was saying something to my therapist and I was like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but that's like my love language. And he was like, how do you expect people to speak your love language to you if you're not speaking to yourself? And I was like, bars. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm paying you money, so I don't hate you, but like I really do hate you for saying that. But like I really do appreciate the insight, so thanks.
You have a male therapist?
I do. I've always had a male therapist.
What for? Yeah.
Yeah, great question. Great question.
What can a male therapist?
So
help you
when I
with?
first got into therapy, it was like in my late 20s.
Yeah.
I probably should have gone to therapy earlier, but you know, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when I first got into therapy, it was because I had just gotten married
Mhm.
and I didn't grow up with like a dad in the house or anything like that. And I was finding myself having opportunities living with a man.
Mm.
And I was like, this I don't understand. And I had lived with boyfriends before and everything, but this was like a husband. Like, you know, this wasn't like, you know what? You didn't clean the dishes, so I think we should break up. Like, this
Yeah.
is like, this is your husband. Like,
Yeah, this is it.
and I was having a difficult time with that. And so a friend of mine recommended a therapist that her and her husband saw. So I didn't do like couples therapy. I just went on my own. And this man was like daddy age. Like he looked like the man from like the Quaker Oats box. Like
Yeah.
he was like an older man.
It's like a 40 to 50 year age gap between you and your late 20s.
Yeah. So I think like I was, when I got married, I was 25. And I think this man was like in his 60s.
Yeah.
So he was kind of like, I was like, is this? And he's like, that's a man. Or maybe try this. Or, you know, and I was like, okay. And it was kind of giving me like a blueprint. And then that got to a place where I kind of got comfortable in my marriage. And then I became a mother. And I didn't feel like this therapist, I felt like I was paying for, I don't need you to agree with me always, but I need somebody to be on my side. And I felt like I got to a place with that therapist where I was like, you're never on my side. And you don't even know my husband. Like, you know what I mean? And then I was like, oh, this is misogyny.
Yeah,
like, you
that's
know,
right.
and so I stopped seeing him. And then the therapist I have now, I switched to a therapist who was my age, like my husband's age. So I went from like a daddy, like show me, to like someone who was like, hey, we have kids the same age. You're my same age. What does this look like?
Yeah.
And so I've kind of been with him like ever since. And I've toyed with like speaking with women. I might try that. I tried last year to talk to a female therapist, but she wouldn't do the appointment because I still had my other therapist, which I thought was interesting. And I was like, oh, and she was like, if you know, end that relationship, then she's like, but I don't feel comfortable counseling you if you already have another counselor. But I wanted to be like, but like I can't talk to my current male counselor about like getting railed. So like I really do need.
You can't?
I don't know.
I get real dirty with my therapist.
I mean, here's the thing about my therapist. We've been together, I don't know, like 7-8 years or something like that. So I mean, he's seen me be married. He's seen me like, you know, as mom. He's seen me in the real world. We have mutual friends. We've never hung out as friends, obviously. In the real world, we have mutual
That's
friends.
wild.
And you know, all the things. So it's like he knows that I'm dating. He knows, like I have mentioned, and it's been weird anytime I've mentioned like, well, I had sex with someone, but like I did want to talk to him about like a current, I don't want to say issue, but like someone I'm dating currently, and I'm kind of like, oh, this is a new type of person for me. How do I make this person more comfortable? But then I was like, he was like, comfortable how? And I was like, Never mind.
Yeah.
I found myself like stopping myself. So I just said like comfortable in a different way. And then we talked about like other things,
Right.
which was complementary to that relationship. But I was like, but I wanted to really be like, how do I communicate this? Or how do I communicate that? Or, you know, but I was like, I don't know if I feel comfortable like that with him.
That's tricky.
I know.
So another therapist for just sex?
Is that a thing?
That's gotta be. He's a sex therapist, right? There's relationship counseling specifically. You just go to one of those by yourself, you know?
And be like, who are you in a relationship with? Like, nobody, myself. But I want to be my best self.
Yeah.
Like, for whoever gets me next. Like,
Teach me how to masturbate. That's me in a relationship.
no, I got that on lock.
Yeah.
We're good there.
Fantastic. Good. Good. It's an important skill. I hear. I don't know.
Like, I don't know anything about that because I just fuck.
I've never masturbated in my life. no.
Never. It's just not my
I
thing.
just have sex with inanimate objects. So I consider
That's
my
different.
fleshlight and I were together. We've been together for a long time.
Jeepers, Guru.
You are one of the other people on the scene who experiments a lot with their aesthetic.
Yes.
In comedy, do you find that there are outfits that you will just bomb in or kill in?
So that's so funny. So I dress to mood, and I am a big aesthetics girly. That will never change. That's part of like who I am to my core. I've just always been like a fashion girly. I've always been like into that. So how and why I have aesthetics for comedy is a mix. It is myself. So it's like I feel I'm not going to go on stage as like I'm more confident or I'm more comfortable if I'm wearing something I like, and I'm dressing to like a mood or a theme or whatever. It just centers me. So like I really enjoy that. I will say, anytime, and it's like a comedy no, but for me it's a yes. But anytime I have worn denim shorts on stage, slay.
Word.
Every time, slay.
Word.
Slay. I'm like, okay, cute. So I know I've crushed in that. But yeah, somebody said to me recently, a female comedian, an attractive female comedian, she was like, I try not to dress up. But she's like, because I feel like when I dress up, I bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are upset that like I'm an attractive woman on stage looking pretty. And I was like, I don't really care what people think. So I think, again, like that's just dependent. I don't think anybody's like hated on me because like, I don't know. I think we've touched on this before. Definitely not on your podcast, but brace yourself. I'm not lying because we established I'm not a liar. But I didn't know I was attractive until I started comedy at all.
That's how I feel too.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I got on the scene and people were like, oh, well, she booked that because she's pretty. And I was like, you think I'm pretty? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I want you to think I'm funny first, but I was like,
Yeah, exactly,
but I'm
right.
pretty?
I know.
So I would get like really defensive with that. And I'd be like, no, it's because I'm funny.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, you're pretty. And I'm like, this is the first I'm hearing of this. Like, this is new news for me. And a lot of people would be like, oh my God, Jess, like, shut up. I'm sure you've been told. And I'm like, no, I really haven't, for like reasons we'll get into it another time. But it's kind of like, that's never been a part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never been like, oh, she's the pretty girl. She's the hot girl. She's the whatever. Now, have there been moments since I've become like single, whatever, where I like vamp it up, where I play it up 100%.
Oh yeah.
And especially like with the audience. But when I did Funny Bones, I mean, my fits those 2 nights were fire and completely different, but both elevated, and I crushed both nights.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's something. I think at the very least, if you didn't find me funny, you at least like my outfit. I get that afterwards. Like, oh, you look very pretty. I didn't think you were funny, but I liked your dress.
That's wild. I can't believe
Love
people
it.
say shit like that. Dude.
Oh, yes. I
It's
mean,
so
I've heard the
crazy.
wildest things. I've heard women shouldn't talk about politics. Someone came up to me after a show and said, you're a pretty girl, and you shouldn't talk about politics.
Dude, I just saw a clip of, not Carol Burnett, but it was one of the like very early televised female comics. She was one of the first people with a late night show. Oh my God, I forget her name because she was smothered out by history. But
Joan Rivers.
no, it was before Joan Rivers. It was like pre-Carson, I think. It was like
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was like early Tonight Show type shit. This was
Okay.
like on par with the Tonight Show, but it was like a female hosted late night show. It
Okay.
was doing really well, but this was one of the last best female late night host for a long time. But she had was just like, there was one clip where she was just opening mail, and one of the letters was like, stay away from the plunging neckline and leave politics to men or something like that, or politics isn't for little girls. It's crazy that we just haven't
so
moved
glad
along.
nothing has changed.
It's 100 years and nothing has changed. That's crazy as fuck.
Yeah,
to me.
people have definitely said that to me afterwards. I had a man come after me after a show and said, with a mouth like yours, I know why you're divorced. And then he had a tag, and then he was like, he had a tag. I had to respect it because he was like, you know, I know why you got divorced. He's like, I would have divorced you too. That was his tag, and I was like, well,
mid tag,
good for you to know. That would never even be a realm of possibility in any universe, but. Peace up.
Yeah. I'll find like with my outfits, if I dress like a serial killer, it's gonna go well.
They love you.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
I think people want to nurture you. They're like, is he okay? Because I have seen that with you, where it's like the more disheveled you look, Preston, people are like, oh, and then you get up there and then you're just like so funny, you crush. Sometimes you're a little bit manic, and I think it's like a mix of like people are concerned, and then you also talk about autism a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like if someone went up and was like, if someone went up, it would be noticeable that they had Down syndrome, but it'd be like the same thing. It'd be like,
sure.
oh, we love them. Like, you know what I mean? So they're
Yeah.
like, he's so handsome and funny and so sweet, and he needs a steamer, but it's okay. Like,
I do.
it's okay because we love him. Like, you know, and they're like, oh, like I posted something about you the other day. Someone I haven't talked to in like over a year commented and was like, I love him.
Oh my God.
I saw him. My friends and I went out and we saw him. He's so funny. And I was like,
who said that?
I'll tell you later.
I'm so excited. Oh, that's so nice.
But I mean, I don't even know this person well, but it was like, you know, they're on my social media, and I posted many comedians, and the only person they were like was like, oh my gosh, I saw him like last month, and he's amazing, and blah blah blah.
That's very nice. Yeah. This was that night at 12 Talents?
Yes.
I was dressed like a serial killer.
Yes. Yeah. And when I posted you, and you know, everyone was like, it was so like noticeable.
Yeah. And when I do dress up, I bomb. So that's the like.
I am happy though that the stash is retired.
Oh, thank God! Hung that shit up. Yeah.
Oh, that got a good laugh.
Nobody liked it. Yeah. Frenchie and Alex hated the mustache.
Oh my gosh! I'm so happy at the retirement of the stash.
No, my family had been begging for it to be gone.
I think like because of our relationship. You know, like this mother-son relationship we have going on. The same thing as like you're a serial killer. Like, are you okay? When your aesthetic veered to that, everyone was like, is he okay? Like people were coming to me. They were like, because, you know, they're like, you're an aesthetics girly. He's an aesthetics girly. This is your child. How are you letting him leave the house? Like people were coming for me. They were like, you let your son leave like that? And I was like, I don't. And I did message you a couple times about it. I was like, what's the vibe? I was like, are we good? And you're like, yeah, queen, we're just trying something out. And I was like, whoo, okay. Let's try it.
It was a huge swing. Yeah, mullet and mustache was a huge swing. And I should have a better hairline if I'm going to do either of those things.
Why did you look like 30 years older? Was the wild part.
Yeah.
And you also didn't look blonde anymore. And it was just kind of like...
I look dirty.
Yeah, I was like, damn, something's going on.
People kept walking up to me and saying, you look like Steve Buscemi.
Yes, you did look like...
That's an okay thing to say.
But
He's
you
the
did.
ugliest person in Hollywood.
And you're not.
And
you're not. It was like, of all the celebrities Preston chose to lean into for like, you know, fall, winter 2023. My boy went with Steve Buscemi.
We were polished off a really nice look. I'm thinking Irish mobster, malnourished. Let's do it.
With a dash of Dahmer.
A dash of Dahmer.
A little dash of Dahmer.
A little fuck a corpse in there, yeah. A little acid barrel with bones in it. A little nummy dead animals.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, yeah. But the outfits play a huge part. I'm really interested in the other person who was just bombing in nice outfits. It's crazy because I feel like I want to feel confident. I want to feel good on stage. And if I do feel good and confident, I'm not going to do well. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy, and I think a lot of the female comedians and male comedians I look up to, they're always dressed well, like on stage.
Jari.
Not locally.
I like Jari's jackets. Jari's always got a presence about him.
Yeah.
I've seen him get dirty, but
He's inconsistent with his swag, but I meant like famous people.
okay,
Yeah, I mean, I think
like specials and shit. Like
specials and shit, or when you just see like videos of them, like back in the day, like at the Comedy Store or whatever, and you see there's a difference. Like when you see someone like walk on stage with a t-shirt and somebody walk on stage with a button down, or somebody like walk on stage in a dress and somebody walk on stage with sweatpants and a crop top. It's different. If that's your brand, that's you. Like,
Right.
Kill it. It's just not me.
There's another tricky thing, which is on the shows that like showcase style shows where there's
Yes.
10 comics or something. Everybody's in a t-shirt except for me. That
I don't-
feels weird. I know you don't care.
And you know who
It-
cares? Not me.
You would look weirder in a t-shirt than you look in fancy clothes.
I will tell you, I came to a show once. I came to a showcase once. I wasn't on it. I just came to watch.
Yeah.
And it was last summer. It was like the dead of summer. I think it was at Milk. And I like walked up. I was literally in like a t-shirt, sneakers, biker shorts. I had makeup on. Like I was still me.
Yeah.
And I walked up, and I think it was like Jake or something. Everyone who walked up was like, "You okay?" And literally, like as if I was ill. They were like, "They're like, you're not on tonight." And I was like, "Am I dressed like I'm on tonight?" And they're
Yeah.
like, "No." And they're like, "You okay?
Yeah.
They're like, you feel okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Do I look ill? And they're like, "We just never seen you in a t-shirt." And then it occurred to me, I was like, "Oh, you've never seen me in a t-shirt."
yeah.
Or not in a heel. So it was
Right.
kind of like the juxtaposition of that. He's like, "Oh, I've like worn t-shirts before and like made them cuter, like tied them in and out." But I'm always in a heel. I do not do stand up and cotton flats. No,
Sure.
that's like not a thing for me. But
How tall are you?
4'11".
Are you really?
Yeah,
I told her you were 5'1" earlier.
no,
You're
that's
4'11"?
that's like generous. That's like
Yeah.
2 inches shorter than
Yeah, you're
taller
always in
than
heels,
what
I
I
guess.
am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do a little. We'll do a little height test later. But yeah, yeah. So it was like literally, and I was like, "No, I'm fine." And then people started walking up. I was like, "Oh, who's here?" Blah blah blah. And Jess is in the back. And people would be like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hey," and they're like, "You all right?" And I was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like 97 degrees outside, and they're like, "Well, we just never seen you look like that." And I'm like,
Is it that Mickey t-shirt? There's a fit on your story.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stunt in that t-shirt. That's not
Yeah.
even a bad t-shirt.
Yeah, I
what
was
the hell?
like, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And they was like, "You feeling all right?" And I was like, "What the flip?" And I was like, "I'm fine."
With those acid wash jeans, that fit is sick.
What
Yeah.
the fuck? These hoes.
I
What
wore a
is Joe?
beret that day. I
Yeah,
did.
did you really wear the beret? Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking of the exact day. Yeah.
I'm like, "What do you guys want from me?"
I remember this story. Why do I remember it so well? I think I swiped up. I was like, I love this t-shirt.
She was like feeling it.
There's nothing like a vintage Mickey shirt. Sometimes they
Nothing.
really slap. Also, does it have like the color here and then it's
Yeah.
all white? That's my favorite style of t-shirt.
Yeah.
Was that a baseball shirt? What do they call
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
That
You
is-
got it. This is my baby.
I've been trying. I've been on Depop.
Not Diva.
Yeah. I just got a World War II sweater from
Actually, it was Facebook Marketplace, but I have been online shopping.
Listen, Facebook Marketplace sometimes hits.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I was worried that it was Nazi, but it's not. We're good.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that's not.
It came in a bag with a lot of German on it.
Yeah.
But,
Well, that's
yeah.
concerning.
Yeah.
But it also had a made in China sticker, so I'm like, this doesn't correspond. This is just some other bag. But yeah, it looks okay. I look like a fancy general on the Death Star. Like I don't know. I feel
I always
like
get concerned when you wear sweaters in the summertime.
I always wear a sweater. yeah,
Why?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's
Well,
you're-
previously because I didn't have arm muscles. Yeah, but
Yeah, I think we've established you now do. So I don't know. I think we need
We're
to go
getting
like summer shopping because I get concerned anytime we do anything and it's like, oh, it's the dead of summer and Preston's in like, fleece.
That's true. The other side of it is that the sun is so bad out here that it almost protects me from the sun. It acts as
Almost.
sunscreen, but more than that, it's
You
like
know
it
what
keeps
also
the
adds
heat
to
out.
sunscreen?
Sunscreen.
Yeah.
But it's gross. I don't like feeling gooey.
We'll
I'll put it
find
on my
you-
face, but not
We'll
on my.
find you one.
I'm
not
even
gooey.
super goop. I'm dropping $60 on this fucking.
Super good. Yeah, super goes on the face.
yeah.
Yeah, we got to do that on the
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
But the body, we'll figure it out for you.
I
There
just-
are options that are not gooey.
Okay. All right, I'm
They
fascinated.
make you more like luminous, like the vampire you are.
Yeah, I gotta glow. I gotta glow.
You gotta glow.
I've been hearing about the South Korean skincare apparently just slaps because they can test on animals, so they just move new products all the time.
They
Like,
sure
just
do.
really good shit.
Yeah. There's a reason, like, South Koreans don't age.
Yeah.
They got like preservatives on their face.
Yeah,
Like,
and not
they're
in,
like,
not in their McDonald's. Yeah.
Dude, this is I don't know if this is a little inside baseball for this and if this is tea that we shouldn't be sharing. I happen to know that that one of the people who worked at Universal here with me got like promoted through way up into like bureaucracy when they were opening one of the parks, I believe Universal Beijing. It's some China shit. They have obviously different rules over there about what you can and can't put into food. So the butterbeer recipe had to have 23 ingredients changed. 23 ingredients China deemed unfit for their population that we just suck down at Universal.
Well, that's good to know that I drink poison quarterly. Like
23 different types of poison.
sad. Also doesn't make me want to move to
24.
Asia though.
Yeah, well, it's cheap as fuck there too, which
Yeah.
I'm excited about. I would love to like take a year off and just live somewhere where $500 goes
A long way.
a week. Yeah,
Yeah.
goes a year.
Oh, by the way, I showed Meg the showcase, the first one, the hair one, because I was like, Jess
Yes.
did the best intro for me. That Jess is the reason the set went well. And I was watching it, and I was like, oh my god, look at her quads. You're fucking jacked, dude. Your quads are like.
And
they
that
look
show, I
so
want to
good
see.
at
I
that
don't
show.
I don't
Oh
have
my
your
God.
clip from that because
Do you not?
no, because I just got my set. Like I didn't get the show,
Oh, I'll airdrop it to you. Go
which
ahead.
I wish I did because
Look at those fucking quads. Let me just turn the volume on.
oh yeah, my quads were popping. that day.
Poppin', dog, poppin'. Look at the fucking quad. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I have
Not
dog
the
shit quads.
quad.
I've been staring at people's legs lately because I'm trying so hard to get any type of definition in my.
Do you have a
fucking
bike?
calf.
No, I've been hearing about bikes. Are they killer? Is that where it's at?
That's where it's at, buddy.
Yeah, bar yours. Yeah, yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Do a little bikey.
This-
Do a little bikey bike to Starbucks. Do a little bikey bikes like around. You don't have to do like long distance.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I need to go to Publix. Let me do a little bikey bike.
What are your leg
Should
days
have-
like? What do you do?
So I belong to a group fitness gym because I cannot train myself and I need like accountability. I need like a trainer there. First of all, I need a program. So I need these are the exercises we're doing today. And then I need a trainer walking around correcting my form if I'm
Mhm.
doing it incorrectly.
Yeah.
So there is always there are different body parts, different days. But when we do leg days, it's just like lots of squats.
Mhm.
It's lots of deadlifts. It's lots of Romanian lifts. It's lots of bear down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of that. It's a lot of that. And then,
Not many machines. Do you have machines for you guys?
yeah, they have machine, but not regular machines. So it's kind of similar to a CrossFit gym,
Mm-hmm.
but instead of
Lean in.
sorry,
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, yeah.
But
It's not,
instead
it's
of
not
it-
a CrossFit.
but instead of a CrossFit gym, it's like CrossFit equipment with a trainer, and then there's programs. So it's 5 different stations.
They got a tire in there.
Oh yeah, and those ropes, and jumping through things and pushing legs up, and
Works out a lot.
yeah. I don't know the names of anything, but I look good as hell. So it's I pay attention,
Yeah,
and I'm
Jess,
just kind of
How many leg pushes does it take to get quads like this?
yeah, I was gonna do it, but I'm oh, we're on camera. But there's one of those machines where you can do multiple things, where you can do back, you can do squats and lift up, or you can do and then there's also where that same machine with the bar and everything, you can lay on a mat and you can put your feet and you can push up. So it's you're laying down doing a lay down squat.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what else helps with that? Sex.
We fuck differently because you're a woman. So
I
Right.
don't use those muscles at all.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. But I'm petite, and so you got to figure it out.
How are you fucking with your quads? Is this ride? Are you talking about riding? Do you keep your legs bent? Is that what it is? So it's just
there's moments where you can be like a frog, and there's moments. I'm trying to
Oh.
give you some imagery.
No, I'm seeing that. I see the frog. Yeah.
breaststroke.
But talking about, I'm not going to do it on camera. I'll show you after. But there's also, you know, like your song, like I'm not the same height as anyone else.
That's
so
right.
even if I have to like kiss a man, I'm like on
Aren't
my
you like
tippy
sub
toes.
100 pounds? I could pick you up with one arm.
Yeah.
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 No problem. Yeah. I'll
He's
curl
like,
Jess.
"Wah."
Yeah. Sex
People
in
are
the
like,
shower
"Oh, I
is
like
not the same for you.
this."
Yeah. It's like, I fucked a pinata in the
They're
shower
like,
earlier.
"Oh,"
It was
they're
gas.
like, she's so light.
Yeah. Oh my
I was
god.
having sex recently, and he was like, "You're so small."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Thanks."
Mhm.
I don't. He was like, I don't think I've ever had a type, but I think I do now. And I'm like, you're welcome.
Petite's crazy. I had one girlfriend who was 5 foot flat. And she was like also Latina. Maria. Did I tell you about Maria?
No.
She was really mean to me. She ruined my life. But
Oh, fuck her.
it's fine.
I was like, oh, yay, Latina petite. And I was like, oh, she ruined. You're like, I hate her.
She may have been deported. I don't know. It's not my business.
Not my business.
Yeah. But she was going for the green card. But Tiny is weird. We didn't really have any sex. She was religious. It's like
Oh.
a lot of head and stuff. It was weird.
Well, I feel bad for her.
Everybody feels bad for her. She actually
Maria,
got married
we
and divorced.
hate you.
Yeah. Suck my ass for you.
Did she eat ass?
No. She wouldn't let me fuck her pussy.
I know, but you were like, she was religious. So, I mean, they typically do everything else.
The Lord's loophole, we call it.
Right.
Yeah. So Miles.
You were like,
Neff-
suck my ass. I was like, so did she eat ass?
Yeah. There's this fantastic comic in the Parodies and Punchlines band. Did you know that I just joined a comedy band?
No.
I'm in a comedy band. So
How do you have time for anything
don't.
and you make money?
It's on Friday. I just started making money. Actually, I was not making good money until today when the check dropped. I just entered the middle class. I'm so fucking excited. But yeah, no, this comedy band, we have a residency once a month. We do madcaps, and then
That's cute.
Yeah, it's cute. So ours is coming on Friday. And one of the songs is "The Lord's Loophole." It's by Miles Neff, and I'm just ripping like gospel
So
organ
who's in
on
the
it.
band? You, Miles, who else?
It's me, Miles Neff, Nathan Allen, Drew. I don't know Drew's last name. Dreux. I don't see him at Mike's or anything. He lives like far away,
Don't know who that
but
is.
he's funny as hell. He's dry. He plays guitar in the band. Nathan plays guitar as well. Scott Hooker.
Mhm.
Scott Hooker plays uke.
Cool.
And then Zachary Hendricks plays drums. And I
That's
feel like
fun.
I'm missing
That's
somebody.
a fun group.
It's a really fun group.
At least there's actual comedians on it.
Right. And what we do is we all do 10 minutes at the top, and then we do a 30-minute thing where we all play as a band.
I love this.
It's fantastic,
That's so cute.
right? We
Have
get
you done it already?
Yeah, we did it last month.
Hell yeah.
We get 50% of the door, and
Fuck yeah.
I know.
This is cool.
I'm so excited. And the fact that they don't have to pay a feature or an opener or a head, like we're
That's
every check.
beautiful.
Yeah. But it's split 6 ways, which is, fine.
But it's,
Yeah.
it's cool.
It's a lot of fun. I love the idea that they're trying to get it on a tour, so like a Southwest tour or something
So
like
cool.
that. Right.
That'd be dope.
It'd be dope. Marketing is hard.
I think you just need management.
You're doing good at marketing yourself on Instagram.
I just
honestly.
market myself. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the hard way. But you're nailing it.
Um,
God bless.
My ex-husband was in marketing, so.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Word. Your ex-husband was a piece. I get really mad when I see you, Crosby, and him next to each other. I'm like, son of a bitch, look at these jeans. Crosby's,
Yeah.
How tall is Crosby projected to be?
Probably as tall as his dad. Probably at least 6 foot, I'm sure.
That's good. That's tight.
Yeah, my ex-husband was hot. I mean, I'm not gonna lie about that. I don't
Oh, you're better off as a
Fuck
piece of
uggos.
shit. Yeah.
But,
objectively, yeah.
objectively, but yeah, at the same time, that's always interesting. So someone I dated. I mean, everyone I've dated post divorce, but one of the people I dated after my divorce was so curious about what my ex-husband looked like, and I was like, "What is your fascination with this?" And it was just like, "I want to see him," and I was like, "Okay." And so I showed him his Instagram, and he was like, Jesus Christ. He was like, he's hot. And I was like, okay. And he was like, you sure you made the right choice?
Oh my God. That's so rude.
Right. And you're dating me.
The way people talk to us.
And it was like, okay, well, I obviously not, I guess, because you're probably not. And it was like, Jess, I don't know. I was like, oh yeah, so you know me. I was just willing to look past all the bad things going on in our marriage, but at least he was good looking, like
Right.
you know. But I just thought that was a very interesting. I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. My mom always told me to pick someone based on their personality because looks fade. And I
I'm
still
leaning
like
into leaning into like my celebrity era where it's like all these beautiful celebrities, because now remember I just found out I'm pretty. All of these attractive celebrities are with ugly men,
mm-hmm.
and I'm leaning into that.
Ariana, where'd she go?
Yeah, Ariana, Selena,
Yeah.
like, but you know they're happy as clams.
Happy as clams.
And their clams are happy.
And they got happy clams.
They got happy clams. So I'm like, maybe that's it. And then maybe I look even prettier next to these uggos. But obviously, they're going to like worship me.
I've heard that there's a statistic that the less attractive the person you're with, the more secure you
so
feel.
honest.
Yeah, it's funny as fuck.
I'm not a liar. We've established.
Yeah.
Not autism, just honest.
Yeah. Regular honest.
Just regular honest.
Non-diagnosably honest.
Yeah. Honesty light. Like, no, honesty heavy.
Yeah.
Autism light. Like,
Dude, I'm so excited. I just got my first jury duty summons, the 29th.
I'm so jealous. I want to be on jury duty so bad. Let's manifest that.
Have you ever done one?
No, I've been called twice. The first time I was asked, I had just given birth and I was nursing, and you can't ask a nursing mother to be in a jury
Oh, wow.
because you're a source of food.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, you just had a baby? Oh, no, we can't have you. Like
Yeah.
someone, depends on your survival,
Yeah.
like your milk to survive." And then the second time I was asked, I just like waited all day, and then I wasn't chosen.
Yeah, okay. So there's a chance that'll happen to me.
Or not. Danielle got chosen.
Danielle, Danielle's charisma. I would love Danielle on a jury. Yeah.
They're like, "Oh yeah, look at that girl. Great."
I bet she'd probably get bailiff, bro.
Yeah, that was a time. So yeah, I just want to break from work.
Sure.
I want to be on jury duty. I'm trying to manifest this so hard. I want to break from work, so I want to be on jury duty.
Yeah. What's your like PTO like? You get mad PTO?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a bunch. Like how much you
Yeah.
get a year?
So much. It's
Okay.
stupid.
I don't know. I just got promoted. I don't know what to negotiate for. I don't know if I.
You haven't? Have you signed a contract?
I haven't signed anything, but they started sending me money, so I might have signed. So I actually, you know what? I'm pretty sure that I.
No, then you negotiated bupkis.
Oh. Next year.
And you did not call your mommy about it.
I called her many times. Oh yeah, I called both of you. I think. I feel like
How do I do this?
No, when I go through bureaucracy and stuff like that, I call my birth mother, who is no help at all because she's exactly as mentally ill as I am.
Oh yeah, that's not helpful.
Yeah, it's
That's
not the
helpful.
best. Yeah, but another day, another dollar. What are your hopes and dreams for your son?
That he's happy.
Yeah.
Because I think I don't think I'm like, I am 41, and I don't think I can say I'm happy, or like I can't pinpoint a time. I mean, I can. There's like pockets where I was like, I was very happy, but I just feel like happiness is so fleeting. And so I just want him to be happy.
Mm-mm. That's
He's
interesting.
human, so
He's human.
obviously there's going to be moments where things aren't happy, but I would like and it's easier for men, but I would like the underline to be like, ebbs and flows and no worries. And, at the end of the day, I would like him to end the day with like, at least I have this, or just like always like on a positive high note, and not like his mother who, has depression and anxiety and is
Sure,
like,
yeah.
I mean, it was an okay day. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
we're living.
Yeah, it's like life's a yin yang, but you want him to stay in the green.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah,
That's
so
so
that's my
interesting.
hopes and dreams for him, and I want him to accomplish things he wants to accomplish. So he's very regimented, and he has hopes and dreams for himself. So I would like for him to have those things come to fruition. Like I think that would be like his ultimate happiness.
When you have a baby, do you start noticing its personality like right away?
100%.
It's just right there from the beginning.
Ish, but I think it depends on the child and also like your connection with the child. I would say my relationship with my son is unique and different. I wouldn't say our relationship is like a lot of mother-son relationships, we have a connection. Other mothers have said this, like, you and your son just have a bond, like you have a thing. And this is going to sound so weird and hokey, but even when he was like a baby, before he could speak and stuff, it was like I could hear his thoughts. Like, you know, it was like I knew what he was thinking, like in the wonder of it, before he could articulate or know the words. Like, I would be like, yeah, buddy, I know what you're feeling, or like, I know what you're thinking while you're looking at that or doing this. So when he actually did start like verbalizing and articulating things, I was so impressed that I was so spot on with it. And I was like, oh, I'm his mom. Like, I do know what he's thinking, what he wants, what he needs. And it's funny because even now he'll say like, Mama, I couldn't like without you I couldn't survive. Or he'll be like, nobody knows me as good as you do. Like, you know, he'll say things like this because I don't know, it's just some sort of like innate intuition I have with him, for him. But I don't think all parents have that.
That's huge. That's very cool. I think Crosby's also responsible for half that connection. Crosby's a very unique person. I don't know a lot of
Yeah, he's a very, very unique person. He's very much an old soul. Like, I don't think this is his first life, you know?
Yeah.
And I definitely know this isn't mine. So the fact that I feel like we've probably crossed paths in other lives, maybe not as mother, son, or whatever, but I feel like we've been together before.
You carried him. He was in you.
I made that.
Yeah. But I mean, even before that, I mean, just the egg.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I just feel, I don't know. It's,
yeah, that's wild. How old were you when you had him?
I was 28.
That seems like a good age. That feels like in the pocket.
Yeah, I was 28, and then a couple weeks later I turned 29. So like I was pregnant basically my entire 20th year.
That's so cool. I'm obsessed with the change that happens when you have a child, because everybody talks about that.
Yeah.
And it's
and people have different experiences. Some people hate being parents, or some people are like, oh, I hated the toddler stage. I couldn't wait for him to be a teenager, or I'm so happy now that my child's an adult because I feel like we get along better. I have different, even though, like, you know, we're going through a transition because he's in preteen mode. But I always say, like, if there is a heaven, I think my version of heaven is Crosby at every age. So, like infant 1, 2, like my version of heaven is like every iteration of him, like at every stage, because each part of him has been like so unique. And sometimes even if I look at him now, like I catch like little glimpses of like that little boy or like that little baby, although he's changing. But yeah,
that's wild. Did it change your work ethic? Did you feel an impact on your work ethic?
Yeah, I think no, but I will say, like immediately, when they say like after you have a child, or like, you know, if you overcome death or whatever, you feel like a euphoria.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, you see the light or you see whatever. And I will say, pushing him out was the most excruciating thing that has ever happened to me in my body.
4'11".
Yeah, and everyone's like, oh, he's a good size. I'm like, he's a good size baby for like an average size woman. Yeah. I'm built like an 8th grader. Like that was not comfortable. But like the second you like push through the pain, the only way that pain is acceptable is at the end of that pain, the prize is a human. Like no other pain is worth that. It's like the ultimate prize. And it was like the second I pushed him, it was like all the pain went away, and it was like this euphoric thing. And in that exact moment, it was like, this is my purpose. Like it didn't matter what job I had, where I worked, what I did. What I knew in that moment, like my legacy or why I was put on the earth, was to be his mother. And I knew that instantly. I'd never known like, what's my path? Or, you know, I mean, obviously I've had many careers and I've done many things, and now I have my son and I'm still exploring many careers and many different things, and everything just seems so gray and so unclear. But the one thing that always remains the same is that I was meant to be his mother, and I'm not meant to be a mother, his mother. Like it is very clear that is my purpose.
And that just makes your perspective on everything else. It just really puts it into a less important
Yeah, because
part.
everything circles around that. Like, you know, like if I do this, how will it affect him? Will it be a positive effect or a negative effect? You know, so I do take him to account, him a lot. So, and
So when you pushed Preston out of your comedy vagina.
yes, when I pushed God, it was so painful. No, I had an epidural for Preston.
Yeah.
It was smooth. He just like slid out.
That's why I was built like that.
He was like,
No splash.
no splash. No splash. No splash though.
Jesus. Okay. All right.
No flex zone.
Yeah.
You know better.
She a singer too?
Slay. Oh my God.
Yeah.
One of my favorite metaphors that I've heard about childbirth, I think it was credited to Andy Richter, but I heard it from another source, was before you have a kid, everything's in black and white, and then you have a kid and everything's in color. But you don't
that's
know.
beautiful.
But you don't
Yeah.
know before you have a kid.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's another thing, is that nobody before they have a kid understands the transition. A very cruel trick. The Seth Rogans of the world telling us that it's so green over there. I don't know that it is, Seth. You look kind of sad.
Yeah. Come on, Seth.
He doesn't look tired, I'll give him that.
Right.
Yeah, there's nothing like the
Plastic surgery.
plastic surgery. You think that's what? I think it's weed, dog. There's nothing like it's like the
Weed.
Botox of the whole body. It's just
Existential crisis at all times.
yeah, exactly. All right, we're at 7:41. Looks like an hour and a half, Queen. We did it.
Hey,
Nailed
Vic.
it.
Love you.
Do you have anything coming up that you want to play? This is probably going to come out long in the distance, like probably a couple months. So
And just my
you might
social media, if you guys want to follow me, please follow me on Instagram at pretty_funny_comedy. I love to have followers. I always update my shows. I try to make fun story times. I always put like cute music. I need new friends. Please follow me.
You do great work with the stories.
Thank you.
Making stories is my day job, and no one else gets close. You also use the new features right when they come out.
Thank you.
Yeah. I noticed the heck out of that. Yeah. Get after it. Get after it, dog.
Get after it.
Yeah. You're literally doing my job better than I'm doing
And
it
then people
for
are
your
like,
personal
oh, why
page.
did she get bugged?
I know, dude, insane. Yeah, no, you're getting mad work. Yeah. It's like, wait.
I know how to market myself.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching.
I love you.
Follow
Have me
her.
back, please.
Pretty_funny comedy. Thanks so much. Have a great one.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey. So where are you going? Can I come too? The whole world is open. A playground for me and you. And we could be fine. Shit. Who the hell knows? It's your eyes and your ears and your mouth and your nose, head and your shoulders, your knees and your toes. I dream of this moment. Will it come true? The whole world, they know it. They just waiting for me and you. And she, just like I, got her head in the clouds. No need to be lower before it's all over. I promise we'll figure it out. I ain't coming down. Why would I need to? So much of this world is above us, baby. They might tell you that I went crazy. I'm just trying to read you. And I know we try, and the days they go by until we get old. There's water in the flowers, let's grow. And people, they lie, but hey, so do I. Until it gets There's water in the flowers, let's grow. Let it go, let it be. We're all we need today. Let it go, let it be. Sometimes I get lonely, not when I'm alone, but it's more when I'm standing in crowds that I'm feeling the most of my own. And I know when somebody knows me, I know somewhere there's home. And I'm starting to see that all I have to do is just get up and go. I gotta get going, going, going before I'm gone. Gotta get going, 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 going before I'm gone. And I know we try, and the days they go by until we get old. There's water in the flowers, let's grow. And people, they lie, but hey, so do I. Until it gets old. There's water in the flowers, let's grow. Let it go, let it be. You're all I need, I need, I need, I need today. Let it go, let it go. All right, come on, Preston. All right, Alex. Thank everybody for tuning in for this episode of the Not PC podcast. I'm Sean Frechette, the man on the sticks behind the scenes, doing little tic-tac, click-clack things. We got Preston Canavan, your motherfucking host.
Hi, it's me. Remember from the whole fucking show? I needed more time.
And we got motherfucking Alex on the fucking guitar, musical guest.
From almost nowhere, quite literally. But that's also my musical name. But as you can see,
he makes lots of lo-fi on YouTube. You should definitely check him out. It's almost nowhere, just the way it sounds. Guys, this was an amazing pod. Let's fucking rein it in, surf it out. And I hope everyone that's watching has a beautiful evening, day, afternoon, whatever. Peace.